VS Code is a fantastic code editor. It's my code editor of choice, and it comes with a set of very finely tuned, very finely balanced defaults. Nevertheless, there are a few default options that you should tweak immediately. In this video, I will outline what and why, and I will show you what difference it makes. Some of those tweaks will make you a bit more productive, some of those tweaks will make your setup a bit nicer, a bit easier to work with, and some of those tweaks might be relevant only in very specific use cases. Let's jump into VS Code, alright? Tip number 1 is going to be move your sidebar to the right. And this is my favorite tip, and I don't know where I picked it up or from who, but it really made a great deal of difference for me in my setup. By default, the sidebar is going to be on the left, right here. And if I open it, you're going to see it pops up right here. You should learn to use the shortcut Command B to open and close it. And this is especially relevant for smaller screen sizes where you're going to desperately need that screen real estate. So use the Command B shortcut to open and close it. And you see right now that my code is jumping from left to right. And this creates a little bit of a mental overhead. So if you're working or if you're in a zone and you start coding and doing stuff and then you realize you want to open a sidebar and check something there, you're gonna have to refocus your attention from here to here. But if we move our sidebar to the right, and we're gonna do this now by searching for the sidebar setting, and right here, sidebar location, we're gonna set it to right, and our sidebar jumps to right. And if I open it now, you're gonna see that my code stays in place. And I don't need to do anything to refocus my attention. It's exactly where I expect it to be. It's not moving, it's not jumping left and right. And most of the time, it's not even gonna be in the way of my actual code. Like this line might be a bit too long, so it might make a big difference here. But other than that, it's not gonna make a difference. It's not gonna interfere with my workflow. Tip number 2 is going to be tweak your whitespace settings. Now, if you look at this code right here, you're not gonna see anything strange about it. It looks perfectly formatted, but if we tweak our whitespace settings, and we're gonna do this right here, whitespace, and if we change render whitespace to all, now you don't usually notice whitespace unless there's a problem with formatting, and this is going to be probably visible in your source control, like in Git or something like that. And now that we turn this whitespace on, you're going to see that we have quite a lot of problems with our formatting. We're using spaces here and tabs here. This really looks messy, and your code should never look like this. Maybe one person was doing this, then the other person came in and didn't realize that their editor is set to tabs instead of spaces, as is expected in this file apparently. And by showing whitespace, we can actually see the problems, and we can then reformat our file to use spaces. Let's use convert indentation to spaces. And now all of this is fixed, and we still have this extra white space at the end of lines. You can tweak another setting that will help with this, and this is going to be trim trailing white space. When you enable this, if you save your file, all of this trailing white space will be automatically removed. So tweak your white space settings and you'll know exactly what's going on in your code, and you will be able to format it properly. Tip number 3 is going to be turn on bracket colorization, and you're going to see exactly what this means if we tweak the setting. And you will find this under bracket. Right here we have bracket pair colorization, and if you enable this, you're going to see that brackets change color based on the indentation level. So first level is going to be yellow, second level is going to be this pink, and the third level might be something entirely different, blue in this case. And with this, you will process your code more easily. You will understand better what's going on, where certain brackets start and end, and which bracket pairs are well matching. Another option you can tweak is bracket pair colorization per bracket type. And now you're going to see that different types of brackets have different colors. This doesn't make a great deal of difference for me, but I still have it turned on. And another setting that makes difference is bracket pairs guides, and I set those to true, and this will render a line that connects bracket pairs. So turn on this setting and you will understand better where your code starts, where your code ends, where your functions or selectors start and end. Especially it's going to be relevant when you have bigger functions that span across multiple screens or something like that. Tip number 4 is going to be turn on font ligatures. And font ligatures are actually characters in your font that are rendered instead of combination of 2 or more other characters. So we're going to turn this setting on. font ligatures, and you're gonna have to edit this in JSON settings here. The thing to note here is this is dependent on the font. So the font you're using has to support font ligatures. If it doesn't, it's not gonna make a difference. I'm using JetBrains Mono font here and it does support ligatures. So we will see the difference right now. I will set it to true. And now if I write double equals or triple equals, lesser than, greater than, and this looks much more elegant, much nicer in my opinion. So if we turn this again off, you're gonna see those characters that look like this, and with the font ligatures on, it just makes your code look much more elegant, much nicer. Now some people don't like this. If you're one of those people, then ignore this tip and move on. And if you're like me, you're gonna really enjoy seeing those characters in your code. They look really nice, but again, they're dependent on the font. If your font doesn't support ligatures, then you're not gonna see difference here. Tip number 5 is going to be enable simple dialog. Now, if I try to open a file here, and I'm going to use Command O to open a file, you're going to see this dialog appear, which is a native Mac dialog. And I'm going to move back to our regular settings here, and we're going to set simple dialog to enable. So if you open the dialog right now, you're going to see this vscode dialog appears, and it works much faster. That's the number one thing that you're going to notice. And I think it's much easier to navigate this one. You can write, or you can just use your keyboard to navigate around folders, and I think this works much better than the native Mac dialog. So turn on the option simple dialog enable. And the last tip is going to be, and let's call this a bonus tip, it's going to be caret animation, and you're going to find it under caret, cursor smooth caret animation. When you turn the setting on, you're going to see that as you navigate your code, your cursor is animated. So it's going to be much easier to follow where the cursor goes, where the cursor is. And I think this is very relevant, and it could be very helpful when you're doing screencasts like maybe I'm doing right now. And when I'm doing actual coding, I don't like this. It feels a bit too slow, like my cursor is lagging, so I don't like it when I'm doing the actual work, but I do like it for a presentation. And this is it for this video. I hope this was helpful. Those tweaks definitely make a difference for me. I hope they will make a difference for you as well. Thank you so much for your attention. My name is Zoran Jambor. Check out my video on hash selector if you still haven't, and I will see and hear you in the next video.